Welcome to this week's Mystic Message. This week's Mystic Message is a message to kind of everyone collectively about what I think many people are feeling right now. But it's also a good message in the future around kind of a general unrest, complete nervous system dysregulation, this feeling of almost when you feel like you're losing hope. There's this collective feeling and experience of defeat. And I feel it. I think most people feel it. I think we all have a lot of reasons for feeling that way. So this is not there's no good reason to feel that way. It's more of just a different approach to how to navigate it because when we feel defeated and we, allow ourselves to feel defeated, the only way that we can really truly be defeated is when we allow ourselves to be defeated. No one else truly can come and defeat us. And it's this energy and this state of mind and perspective and when when we feel defeated and allow ourselves to feel defeated, it's that feeling of giving up. It's that feeling of I'm too overwhelmed. There's too much. Everything is against me. I can't get through the days. I'm overwhelmed. I just want to break down and cry. I need a break. I can't afford life. Like everything is too much and too hard. That we're all feeling that. But when we let ourselves feel defeated, we lose hope. And when we lose hope, the lower vibrational frequencies are like running a party. Like they are getting exactly what they want. This reality of feeling defeated, feeling like everything is just like here to crush us, and almost this like, the Twilight Zone feeling that I think we're all living in of like, what is happening? But when we lose hope, they win. And this is all like this, tactic, right? This is a manipulation tactic. The more that we get pushed to allow ourselves to feel defeated because we're tired, we're exhausted, we're tired of fighting just to live day by day, emotionally, mentally, energetically, everything. We're just tired, and that makes us feel defeated, and that makes us lose hope, and that makes this kind of other side, whatever you want to call it, I don't care, the lower vibrational frequencies on our planet, they're winning, they're feeding off of that. And it's like, we're fighting this war, but we're not fighting a physical war. We're fighting an energetic war. We're fighting an emotional war. We're fighting a mental war. And we cannot fight that through violence. Wars are created, are built in kind of, hatred a lot of the times. It's judgment and hate. It's one side thinking one thing, it's another side thinking another thing, and we're going to fight potentially to the death because I think I'm right and I think you're wrong. And because I'm judging, myself and I'm judging you, and those are the determining factors, right? We are up leveling. And so we are not fighting in this type of way, for one. And for two, we have to move beyond this place of judgment for many reasons. We don't want to be fighting from a place of hate. We cannot fight this war through violence, through anger, through judgment, through hate, through pointing the finger. That is the old way. That is what we're programmed to do, to believe, to think. And the more we participate in the older ways of being, right? If we all want to create a more loving, communal, collective, free, equal reality, we can't keep participating in the old ways, in the old patterns. This is an old pattern. The old pattern is like, I don't like something or something feels wrong, so I'm judging it and I'm going to point the finger and I'm going to hate it. And you're pouring all your energy into this thing that you don't even like. And this is what we're shifting out of this way of fighting. And, I know it sounds cheesy and I totally get it. I had this feeling at one point, but we're truly shifting into a phase of we don't fight with our fists, with our, our weapons, or even with our mouths, our verbal hatred born words. We are shifting into unconditional love. Whether you call it New Earth, whether you call it 5D, whether you call it Christ consciousness, whether you call it ascension, I don't care what words you use for it. But I think most people who are listening to this, if you're listening to this, we obviously resonate on some level. And so you feel it in your heart, in your body, in your soul. It resonates for you that unconditional love is a big part of the basis of this kind of new reality, this new kind of matrix reality, this higher dimensional shift that we're moving into. And so how do we move into that if we're still feeding hate? If we're still, these lower vibrational frequencies are feeding off of the hate, off of the polarity, the finger pointing. It's all low vibrational. The way that we're reacting to what's happening is very low vibrational. And that's what they want. That keeps us low. If we're low, we can't rise. We can't shift once we shift our vibration, everything shifts. We create our own reality. So if enough of us are at this higher vibration, our reality is going to reflect that. But how is that supposed to happen when we're still feeding into all of the lower vibrational frequencies? They're over there just eating it up. And, this is something that I have seen over and over and over. I've been doing this work for years. I have dealt with countless dark entities, low vibrational beings, critters, energies, demons, so different categories of low vibrational things, dark deities, right? I have navigated so many of these, and know what is the commonality? What shifts them, whether it transmutes them, whether it makes them, F right off? Unconditional love. They can't handle it. When you try and fight those types of energies with hate, you find that they just keep coming back. Because that does not work. That is what we're moving out of. We cannot move into something new while playing the old game, while playing the old patterns and cycles over and over and over, And so when it comes to this shift of unconditional love, I'm not asking you to love your government unconditionally or any of these figures. That would be really challenging for most of us. Would it be great if we could find ourselves there right now, tomorrow, today? Yeah, but let's be real. Our nervous systems are shot. Our ego is still pretty much running the show for a lot of us. Our shadow is being real loud right about now, and we're tired. So I'm not expecting anyone to be perfect or to be some holier than thou monk or just completely objective. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying we have to go from here all the way over to here. What I am saying is to go inward and start with yourself. You can't control anything happening outside of you. We can't control the government. We can't control what politicians are doing. We can't control what these corporations are doing. We can't control a lot of these things, most of us, right? Of course, our votes and things like that matter. But I'm talking this energetic, this fight, this war, right? If we want to call it that. But first we have to start with ourselves. Because if we are someone who feels hate and we judge a lot, there's stuff within you that is showing up there. There's stuff you're judging within yourself. A lot of times when we're judging or we're reactionary, it's a trigger for something internal, for something shadow-based. I'm not saying what's happening outside is right or wrong. I'm not speaking to any of that. What I am saying is what you can control is what's in you. And if you're feeling very reactionary, the way to feel less reactionary and soothe and settle your nervous system so that you can get through every day without wanting to collapse or cry or give up or feel hopeless or feel defeated, it's going in it within. It's finding those shadows and doing that deep work, loving yourself, doing the shadow work, integrating the shadow and loving it, loving all of the parts of you. How many people can honestly say that they really unconditionally love every aspect of themselves? You unconditionally love all of your shadow bits, right? Your shadow is things like envy, jealousy, judgment, the guilt, the shame, those sometimes those ugly parts of us that we don't want to admit. all the way to, our trauma from childhood and things like that. And the more that we neutralize in love that energy, right? When we're judging ourselves, we're judging our shadow, we're judging our past, we're judging things we've done, it makes us more reactive to the things happening outside in our life. So if we do that inner work and start that process, or continue, if you're already on that journey, you keep working on that unconditional love for yourself, you're going to find your nervous system relaxes. You're going to find you're less reactionary to the things outside in our reality. And this is all we can really do. Okay. Let me check my notes here. What am I missing? Nervous system. Because at the end of the day, showing up to fight with kind of hatred and polarity and judgment, all it is giving your power away. Yes, it's feeding kind of darker energies, but it's also giving your power away. And when we give our power away, that is energy. That is energy seeping. Those are leaks. Those are cords. We're all energetic beings. We are all receiving energy from source, and we want to hold as much of that as we can. We don't want to have it leaked or sucked or drained from us by, lower vibrational frequencies, entities, people, toxic people, energy vampires, all of those things, right? If you want to feel better and navigate this shit show a little bit better, then we want to keep all of our energy in. And so we want to keep our power, hold our power, our sovereignty. And instead, we don't want to be giving it away like we have been. The moment we're judging and focusing all of that elsewhere, we're just leaking energy everywhere. And we're already tired enough between solar flares and energetic shifts and life being chaotic. We can't afford to be leaking any more than we are, anymore, right? We need to be solid in our energy. It's going to make it easier to be less reactive and to be in that space of a higher frequency, because that is what we need to be. Okay, so I hope that this helps. I know it's not easy. I'm not pretending that this is an easy journey or process, but I am, really adamant on this is the inner work matters. It ripples to everyone. It's not just for you. Sometimes it can feel like, well, how does doing work for myself change anything in my reality? We tend to make up excuses. Well, I wouldn't feel like this, and I will be happy when, government does XYZ, or president does XYZ, or politicians do XYZ, or corporations do XYZ. We blame it on everything happening outside of us. And yeah, those things suck. I'm feeling it. I'm struggling. We're all struggling. But there's so much that is just manifested internally. And when you do that internally, you do that work, you vibrate higher, you ripple that out to everyone around you, making it easier for them to vibrate higher, so on and so forth. There is a ripple effect in place. And be a part of that ripple instead of the other one. All right? Mwah. Sending you so much love, so much support. And I just put out a new soul stream that's beautiful and really helps to soothe the nervous system. So go ahead and go check that out. It is called Cradled by Mother Gaia. I mean, who doesn't want to be held and cradled by love, by nurturing and safety, right? Mwah, love you.